Tonight is round 2 of the second round of these playoffs, and we saw last week a thrilling race at Atlanta. Fortunately, I did not get to see that as I was on vacation, and we're going to see a great race tonight, of course, with Alan Dobbs and company here. And joining me in the booth tonight is Shane. Shane, how are you doing tonight?
Man, 90-degree heat and a trip to the ER couldn't keep me away from 135 laps of green flag action here at Kentucky Speedways. Paul Irvin and Justin Oppinger are going to bring the field down to green. I'm locked, cocked, and ready to rock. So is this field. We are green from Kentucky.
You see already pushing 3 wide. Paul Irvin in the middle of that sandwich right now.
Yeah, a little early to be getting that going here at Kentucky, but once these tires kick in, you're going to see that groove slowly move its way towards the middle and top of the track. This is going to be a fun 135 laps to see what's going to happen here as we've got Alan Dobbs looking like he's trying to take the lead here in that Ford Mustang of his.
Yeah, there's no love lost between Alan Dobbs and Justin Opplinger. They've been door to door all season long, and I think they're two of the stronger ones here for this Xfinity title, without a doubt. And I mean, there's not going to be any shortness of screaming and yelling from Jacob Jensen as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me because Jensen's had himself a pretty solid hot rod all year long. I wouldn't be surprised to see him up front next to contend for a win here before this is over.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, these three have been the class of the field, but I wouldn't sleep on Paul Irvin. Maybe coming up and grabbing a race here in the next couple of weeks, or even tonight, for that matter. So.
Yeah, he had some pretty good speed putting that thing on pole in qualifying. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a little bit of a strategy laid out here. 135 laps at Kentucky is a long time, especially in these cars, because they're only clicking off laps at about 32 seconds. So if Kentucky holds true to long green flag runs, this race could really play into a fuel strategy.
Yeah, without a doubt. And tires are going to be important. This is a little bit of an older track. It's not even on the schedule anymore. You can see right there going through turn 1 and 2, just kind of on the inside of the right side tires. There's that full patch of freshly repaved, like patchwork, and then the same thing through 3 and 4. You have that little bit of patchwork. So I wonder if maybe that could be a little bit of a little bit of a grip factor there. So maybe get a little bit more grip from that slightly fresher asphalt, and running these different lines here later on.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing the 38 car kind of shaking the car up a little bit, maybe running about a half a foot or so off the bottom, whereas Justin in that 51, you see him painting that yellow line. You can see the difference right there. 38 just kind of giving him enough room to get that left headlight out. So it's helping with a little bit of grip on that 51, but at the same token, it's keeping that 38 out front because there's just enough dirty air to disrupt what's going on with that car behind him.
Yeah, you can already see right kind of in the tire tracks, just a bit under, and then right out to the wall, following right behind, trying to pull in at a little bit of a draft there, trying to get as close to that car as he can. Alan Dobbs able to kind of pull away a little bit, kind of going up the track just a touch. But these two cars already stepping out. Here's the view from Jacob Jensen right about now. And, those two are trying to break away from him. So, he's got to make sure he stays with his wits about him and, kind of takes a breath and pushes forward.
Yeah, right now the top three times are running 73, 88, and 77. So, they're relatively similar time-wise. So I don't see too much of a gap that's going to be formed right now, as it's looking like it's only about 2/3 of a second between the top three cars.
Yeah, he kind of pulls in a little bit there, and as I say that, you look right behind him, and even Paul Irvin, Ed Morris Jr., Alan Fox, these 6 cars, have been a class of the field, and then not far behind them in Bryce Senesac. He's been a quick car as well. Coming through. He started 7th, fell back a little bit, finding his way forward now. So it's going to
Yeah,
be a little tricky for him.
yeah, he's right now in a nice little battle here with the 87 of AJ Brandenburg. And the thing about this is, as they finally get things sorted out, Bryce will be able to start picking up that draft off of Alan Fox. So he'll be able to close back up with these guys and turn this back into a big single car freight train.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big thing is someone's going to have to find a different line here tonight that, works to where you can make more headway than the other guys around you. Staying in a single file line, you're really going to have to find other opportunities around. As it looks like just up above a front, you have Ed Morris already running that middle line. Alan Fox even looking around at the outside just a touch. Don't know if that was on purpose or not, but he was definitely outside, really trying to ride that outside line there.
Yeah, I've been watching that 07 that 7 a little bit. I swear, the last couple of laps he's caught the wall. So they're already trying to push it a little bit, as it looks like I think Justin caught the fence a little bit too. So these guys are definitely experimenting, trying to get a little bit higher, trying to find places where they can make moves.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get that maximum amount of arc that he can. One thing that Justin Opplinger is really good at is saving. I see Mr. Dale in here talking. He just said keep saving, and that's exactly what Justin knows how to do is save, 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 save. And it's crazy because I feel like when he saves, he's still fast, but yet when I save, I'm getting freight trained by every car in the field.
That's the difference between somebody with an A rating in the oval circuit and people like us.
Hey, my A rating is just one of those I have it and I can hold it and say yay. It's like a participation trophy almost.
Don't let Eminem hear that; he'll try to cancel it. I'm back, baby.
Oh man, take a little bit of a deeper dive here. You can see Alan Fox and Ed Morris still right inside of each other's lines, and even Jacob Jensen. So these three are kind of building their own little pack as Alan Dobbs and Justin Opplinger are trying to break away from this.
Yeah, you can see the differences that these guys have run for lines. Again, it's all revolving around that patch of asphalt. You'll see some guys straddle it with the left side tires, and some guys will be right on the bottom and straddle it with the right side. So it depends on how your car is handling right now, what you're able to do, and how big of a run you can get off the corners. It looks like the 7 got real loose off the corner.
Yeah, and Alan Fox is going to jump on that and find his way through there.
Yeah, I think the 7 just skated up a little bit too far and had to chase the car a little bit, and it's going to cost him, especially now that he's finally caught his breath. He's got to hold off, looks like Paul Irvin and Bryce there in the 89, so he's got a little bit of work to keep some faster cars behind him.
A little further back in the field here with Taylor Bertram. He's somebody that I feel needs to get a little bit of a rebound. He started off pretty well, and he's kind of had some bad luck here and there. But I look for him to try to get some kind of headway forward.
Yeah, definitely, and it's real easy to spot that car. I mean, God, I'm gonna have to find a pair of sunglasses. We keep looking at this thing; it's that bright. And I also noticed it doesn't have any sponsorship on it, so maybe the boys in the market and looking have a bright race car, get noticed.
Back up front, Alan Dobbs still leads Justin Opplinger by just a little under a quarter of a second. Opplinger closing in, though, definitely looking to jump that spot for sure. And I mean, like we were talking, I think he saves so well that he, finds this point where he's like, okay, I can get on and get moving.
Yeah, I think what he does is he's just riding in the tracks, and I say this a lot in other races that I'm here with you guys broadcasting, is he's building a notebook. He's seeing what that 38 car of Alan Dobbs is able to do on fresh tires, and then as the tires wear out a little bit, he's also kind of building the book, and he's also seeing what his car is doing in comparison, so he knows, hey, because right there he's able to dive it in a little bit deeper as Dobbs skates up the hill.
Yeah, I've been seeing Dobbs kind of have a little bit more of a track out, and I mean it works for him for now, but I almost wonder if it's because he's pushing a little too hard through the corner and getting a little bit of a plow factor there, wearing out that right front tire.
Yeah, it's that this his car is not as happy as what it was on stickers because he was able to hang the bottom early on, and now it just seems like from center off as he goes way up the track again, it just seems like that car is not happy right now. And this is definitely going to be beneficial for the 51 to study what the 38's doing. So this is going to be entertaining to watch these guys, especially late in the run.
Yeah, and it's only going to get better from there. A little further back, Bryce Senesac going after Ed Morris Jr. now. Finally caught a little bit of his wind and following right in his footsteps there.
Yeah, he's definitely catching the draft. And again, the '07 has also been one that I've been watching that hasn't exactly had a happy car once the tires have started to fall off a little bit. So seeing Bryce in the '09 here as I'm looking at the paint job on the side of the car instead of our scoring tower, it's he's definitely got a little something that he saved to keep that car on the bottom a little bit more. So he might have a little bit of a happier setup.
Back up front, Opplinger still all over the rear bumper, trying a little bit of a different line, kind of following in the footsteps of Alan Dobbs right now. And he's right there, and I think this is going to be the big point of the night. I'm thinking maybe Opplinger's still kind of holding back a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest because he knows he's fast. He knows he can get around. But as these tires wear out, how much harder is it going to be to make a pass? Because I mean, my best, the best bet in my opinion is to get a good enough run down the backstretch to get to that inside, left rear quarter. Otherwise, I feel like making a pass on the outside is just going to be not an option. As you see here, he's got just enough that he might squeeze in there to get underneath, but again, just not enough.
He's testing the waters right now. He's seeing what he can do because late race, it's going to come down to who can get the run off of 2 and then possibly try to send it deep into 3. And he's testing the waters right now on that 38. He's filled up his mirror. He's taking a little bit of air off the rear spoiler of that car because following this close, it's almost like they've got a trailer hitch between them. And why do I sound like Ken Squire all of a sudden?
And that's kind of what we always say, and we always have a big testament to is these guys have these mental notebooks that they're building, like you're saying, stack the notebook, and that's what he's doing here. He has the opportunity to run behind Alan Dobbs and kind of see how the car reacts is if he enters right in on the rear bumper, or if he enters a little bit lower or a little bit higher, and see how that may affect the run off the corner for Alan Dobbs.
Yeah, as he's gotten a huge run now, he's going to try to take a peek to the outside. He's got the fender alongside him going into turn 1. He's going to try to make an outside move here. I think he's just, again, testing it because...
I think he might have the momentum. He might have the momentum here.
Oh, he's going to be door-to-door with him coming off of turn 2. We could have a lead change going down here into turn 3 as the 51's trying to make the outside line stick. Dobbs sends it in going into turn 3, trying to make the inside line roll, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Oh, it's going to be close at the line. Yeah, it's Justin by half a car length.
Yeah, so Opplinger making that outside line work. And, I'm actually a little surprised to see because it looked like a lot of people that went to that outside line kind of fell back. And, that's what I'm wondering here. If he's just like, all right, I made my run at it, I'm going to kind of back off. But no, he goes right back to him.
No, he's going to try to make it stick again. But Dobbs is throwing that 38 car in on the inside underneath.
Oh, slides up really close.
Oh.
Possible contact there for sure. That was very close.
I think Justin lifted and still caught a piece of the fence. He cut Dobbs a huge break right there.
Yeah, because if he wouldn't have let off, I mean, that would have been possibly an ender for the 38. And it looks like Dobbs may have slid off the corner there too.
It could have been an ender for both of them the way that was going to look, because the 38 would have got right hook square into the fence, and it could have taken Justin with him. So Justin had a little bit of a better part of valor moment.
Take a peek back here. Bryce Senesac on the inside of Ed Morris. We're going to see now if, Ed Morris can hold out. Looks like Ed Morris might actually just concede the spot. Bryce Senesac racing a little bit faster, so it looks like he just kind of let him have the spot and went about his day.
Yeah, I think right now Ed Morris is just trying to survive to the first pit stop and get some fresh tires on that thing, because again, that car hasn't been happy for the last 10, 15 laps, and here we are 27 in.
Yeah, and just want to remind everybody, we are in the round of 8 currently for these guys here, and it's the second race of the round of 8. After this, we will drop 4 drivers, and currently as we sit, your drivers are going to be the 38 of Alan Dobbs, the 51 of Justin Oplinger, and then you're going to have the 73 and 64 of Alan Fox and Jacob Jensen. And then 5th right now is going to be your Bryce Senesac. A little further back, you have Paul Irvin and Joshua Vidal. And then currently our man sitting right behind him that makes a massive move around the 59 is going to be your man Daniel Krim. So those are currently...
Why am I not surprised the top 4 in points are currently the top 4 on track?
And I mean, if you look here, aside from Ed Morris Jr., our top, our round of 8 is sitting in almost the top 8 positions here. And, Ed Morris Jr., he got a win just as, the season or the regular season ended. And, he just missed out of the playoffs. So, I mean, it's definitely heartbreaking in that aspect, but he's still got a lot to prove to himself that he can get out here and run and have great finishes. So he's definitely not going to give these guys any leeway.
So he couldn't Jeremy Mayfield his way into the championship? That's a shame. Yes, the obscure references are back.
Hey, the obscure references are what make TV.
You're not wrong there. But, here we are, 31 laps into this race. And I don't want to say it because it's like a perfect game in baseball. You don't want to talk about it. But, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've learned that I've become a bit of a jinx at times, but when aren't most broadcasters? It just seems like I'm more the unlucky rabbit's foot than most people. So I don't want to say it, but I'm also saying it without saying it.
I know exactly what you're saying. So here shortly, we'll hit that stage break. It's going to be at lap 40. Now, on the playoff situation right now, Alan Dobbs did win at Atlanta last week, so he is into the next round. So right now you have Justin Oplinger sitting about 12. So Justin Oplinger sitting 12 points ahead of Senesac for the cutoff spot. Jacob Jensen sits 1 point, and Paul Irvin sits 1 point over Senesac for the playoff for the cutoff spot. So these guys are going to be looking for every little inch. And if you look here, Jacob Jensen, Bryce Senesac are right behind each other. So Paul Irvin is sitting at currently tied with Senesac for that last spot.
Ooh, we're going to have ourselves a little plot thickening by the time this race is over.
Oh, absolutely. And then, with these stage points, these guys are going to, be very valuable on those. And then your man in third right now, Alan Fox, He's currently sitting 3 under the cut line, so you know he wants to try to stretch up and get, maybe that second place. But I mean, it's going to be a tough task to make up 3 seconds in 5 laps. But you know, uh, we're so close on points that these guys are going to want to keep their noses clean, but they're also going to want to race hard so that they can stay ahead of these guys.
Yeah, definitely, because stage points could be the difference between advancing and not by the end of this race. So you got to fight for what you can if you get the opportunity to.
Yeah, and I mean it's not going to be easy. Like I said, you've got the top 8 in this playoff in the top 9 right now. So I mean, you can't have a bad day with these guys. You gotta put the pedal to the floor and just run it.
Yeah, definitely, and you can't take a lap off. You just can't. When you're this deep in a points battle, and believe me, been there, done that too many times to count. Glad I don't have gray hairs to show for it. You just cannot take any laps off. And right now, you have to fight for everything, especially when you got guys
Oh,
like
Paul
Dom.
Irving. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Paul Irving got wildly loose there.
Yeah, that thing did
Whew.
not look happy off of turn two. He'll be praying to the gods for the next couple of laps just to keep that thing underneath him.
Man, and praying to the gods is an understatement. It's it's gotta be. You wouldn't think because you're in, a simulator, you wouldn't have the same feelings as a real car, but you sure enough have that pucker feeling. You're like, oh.
Oh yeah, the pucker factor Zulu moments exist, ladies and gentlemen.
Just because we can reset and have another car in practice doesn't mean we can do it in the race. So we still want to keep that under us.
Exactly. Just because you can actually reset in practice doesn't mean you're going to be able to roll out 13 backup cars come race time. As we're getting ready to come down here to the last lap of the stage, and once again, Dobbs and Justin Opplinger are right in each other's tire tracks.
Yeah, you can see here, Opplinger closes in, closes in, closes in, loses on lap 37, then closes in again. So, we cross here at 40, and he closed again.
Yeah, he's testing. Opplinger has been testing the waters.
Oh, looks like he's going to get right on him.
Oh, as the caution flag falls, I think Justin was letting him know, hey, I'm right on you. That was a mind game move. That was some Earnhardt shiz right there.
Yeah, you ain't kidding that. I was just, hey, like, mind your P's and Q's, I'm here.
Exactly. I, I mean, this is stuff that Earnhardt would do in practice with people, or even in the race. Would take like Jeff Gordon, for instance, back. I think it was what, Michigan or something, 1998. Those two had a run in practice, and Dale was like, "What are you talking about, boy?" Jeff didn't forget about it to this day. So Earnhardt was known for stuff like that, and I think Justin took a page out of the old 3 book and said, "Hey, I'm here."
Oh yeah, and absolutely. He's like, yo, like, don't be messing with me.
Nah. And right now, everyone's going to be looking for pit road to open up to get a fresh set of stickers and some go-go juice. As the entire field comes down to the attention of the pit crews.
Yeah, and it's
Let's
it's
see.
gonna it's gonna be very interesting to see if these guys can get this. Opplinger might even try to pull a little bit of a one of those. How like you kind of give it a little bit of extra gas right there at the last minute to try to get any kind of bit of speed that you can.
Yeah, exactly. Just to get out that much quicker than anybody else. Looks like he
Mm.
came into his pit stall relatively good, but so did the 38. Everyone's getting the car jacked up on the left side. 38's about to drop the jack. He's down and gone. So is an Opplinger. And 38's going to hold serve.
Yeah, and I thought Alan Fox was going to be able to pop out there for a minute.
No, it looked like he was just a little bit hesitant coming on the throttle, coming out of his box, and unfortunately, I think that might have cost him a tenth or two.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's not like a full second or a full, a couple seconds and you'll be fine. It's literally like milliseconds. If you're a tenth or a thousandth slower than the guy in front of you, that's just an extra little bit of edge, that he can have to possibly get out of his box earlier than you. And then if you spin those tires, I mean, you're behind.
Exactly. I mean, everyone's going to be smoking the tires coming out of their pit stall, but it's a matter of who gets their tires hooked up first. And if you're just that split second, that split millisecond later than anybody else, you're cooked. As we got the field doubling up here, Alan Dobbs and Justin Loplinger will be on the front row. Looks like we got Alan Fox and what we got Bryce. Yeah, we got Bryce Zenziak sitting here in row 2. I'm going to be interested to see how that 51 car launches on the outside.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be it's going to be one of those starts here. Opplinger, he's no slouch, and he knows when to go and how to go, and it's not going to take him long to find that way through. So, Dale in the chat right now said, "Time to go." So, it's time to rev this thing up. And Opplinger being on the outside, I feel like with fresh tires, I think if he can leave with Dobbs and enter turn 1 side by side, I think he can run that outside line and carry that momentum just to get in front. Because once he's in front, he's got all that clean air and he can play defense.
Yeah, we're about ready to find out who's going to be playing defense and who's going to be playing offense in the home of the Wildcats. The pace car has turned off onto the pit road. Dobbs and Opplinger are bringing him down. Geico restart zone awaits. Barney's hand is waving. Green flag's back out in Kentucky, and Dobbs is gone.
Yeah, Dobbs got a great jump there, and Opplinger having to play defense for third now here for just a moment, but finds his way through and able to kind of not really shut the door, but kind of hold back the 73 as he crosses over here, coming out of turn 2, diving to the inside, throwing that thing into that corner. Man, I almost wonder if Dobbs just said okay and kind of let him go. He said, I got reservations. I'm headed out, boys.
Dude, Justin yeeted that 51 down into turn 3.
That was a move. That was a beautiful move, and I could not execute it.
No, people like us, we would have thrown it down into the corner and then found ourselves firewall deep in the wall.
See, no, me, it would be my gas tank.
My luck, I'd end up getting it loose, crossing my hands back over, and next thing I know, I'm having my windshield replaced.
You know what's great about us bad drivers?
What's
is
that?
Even though we're slow on the track, is the 51 grabs a little bit of the wall there. Even though we're slow on the track, because we're so bad and we always have to fight and save the car, and we're pretty good at saving those slides.
Ninja hands. We got them. We're the Colton Hertas of sim racing.
Every time I hear the word hands in NASCAR, I just look at the hands, the wheel.
Look at my hands, Ma. Look at my hands.
The old Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with my hands. Just leave them down by your side. You'll be fine. Now, if I left them down my side, I'd be firewall deep in the wall. As it looks like Alan Fox is trying to make a move here to get around Alan Dobbs. I'm wondering if that 38 car might take a couple laps to get up to speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he's kind of struggling a little bit here. I almost wonder if he's just kind of gone into a conserve mode and maybe wants to run this stage a little bit easier and, maybe stretch it out just a tad bit further than these guys. We always talk strategy. And, maybe he's got a little bit of a different plan. So It's going to be one of those things that's going to be interesting to watch. Is Alan Fox has found a new gear here too as well.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering if that 38's doing the two words that most of us hate doing, especially when it comes to championship season. As the 73 is making a move on Justin, I'm wondering if the 38's doing a little bit of points racing.
Yeah, I mean it's so close that you guys they've got to keep an eye on it. So you know he got the 10 points for winning the stage, so it puts him in a better position. Just a touch. Because these other guys they all gathered some stage points as well, but grabbing the maximum amount is always the greatest. I mean, and again, he's locked in, so the more that I think about it, his points aren't really his thing right now. He's got to win, so he is in the next round.
Yeah, but playoff getting that extra playoff point doesn't exactly hurt either, especially when the
Exactly.
reset hits. So that's why I'm thinking now that he's got the stage, he's got that playoff point, maybe kind of backing off a little bit and saying, you know what, it's about time I start building my notebook. Let's see what you guys can do.
Yeah. So as it sits right now, he will start next round with 7 playoff points. So he's already going to have a little bit of an advantage um, with Justin Opplinger, will start with 4 playoff points. Jacob Jensen currently with 3, and Paul Irvin currently with 1. So, it those playoff points are going to be great for him. 7 points is 7 spots on the racetrack. So if he finishes 7th, it's similar to him basically winning. He's then just equal in points.
Yeah, so the better cushion you've got, the better off you're going to be down the road. And right now, that's exactly what he's got. Is he's got that cushion to where he can kind of relax a little bit. And like I say, now he can build the notebook up, see what the tires are doing as he comes under attack a little bit from Bryce in the '09, but seems like he's going to be able to hold him off. He's probably now studying his competition because Justin doesn't seem like he's changed his lineup a little bit, but he's fallen back a little bit from Alan Fox. So I'm wondering if Alan's car's come to life and he's finally been able to say, hey, look, I got clean air. It's time for the hounds to chase this fox.
Yeah, and he's also one of the guys that's sitting out right now. So he's got to get everything that he can get, and what's better than getting the win? If you get a win, you're in. So I mean, he doesn't really have anything out really to risk. He's just got to go out and get everything he can get.
Yeah, exactly. And right now he's getting that lead and he's hauled off by a good, what I believe is about a third of a second or so. So, he's got a little bit of a comfort level as the '09 has made a move on Dobbs again, trying to get the inside line going to get underneath him. But Allen's figured out that high line a little bit more. So he's starting to chase everybody back down a little bit and just kind of, the field is starting to accordion back a little bit.
Yeah, and a little bit to this, the more points that you can get to give yourself a buffer. Next week is not a slouch of a race. They're going to be going to Iowa Speedway, so they're completely changing up gears. And going from a little bit of a larger track to Kentucky to a smaller track of Iowa. So I mean, it's going to be a definitely a driving change. So the more you can get, if you're not a short track racer, because short track racing is not simple. It's rough and tough, beating and banging, and really having to maneuver your car a lot differently than you do on these, super speedways and speedways and mile tracks and mile and a half. So, you can kind of just drive it as to where, those small tracks of like Iowa, Bristol, Martinsville, you have to basically have a science to how to drive that car.
Yeah, and Iowa itself is tricky in its own right because it's like an elongated Richmond. But the bigger problem that Iowa has, especially with these cars, and again, been there, done that, burnt the you know what down doing it, the bumps in 1 and 2. really piss these cars off. Like, as low as these cars sit, going through the bumps in 1 and 2 will shove the nose clean out from underneath you. So you really have to have that in mind, which is why you see a lot of guys, maybe even after 10 laps, run the second groove of the track. They do not want to deal with the bumps unless they know their car can handle it. So Iowa itself has its own science to it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a wild one. I have an embarrassing moment from from Iowa where, I was leading, and of course me, like, leading is not a normal thing. And I go to come into pit road, and it's a lot sharper of a turn than I expected. So before
You
I
did
realized
not
it,
do what I think you did.
I was staring at the barrels.
Oh my.
I went full Matt Kenseth in Dover.
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
let me tell you, to lose a race that way, it doesn't it doesn't feel good at all.
I'll tell you right now, someone who ain't wanting to lose a race, that's Justin Opplinger in that 51 car as he makes a move on Alan Fox coming out of turn 2, getting the inside line going into turn 3. I got a feeling he's going to try to throw it in deep again. Does he make the pass stick? Yo, he's close to doing it. Fox is getting that outside line going again as we see the 38 coming down pit road.
Alan Dobbs making a stop here. Don't know what that's all about. Wonder if he's pulling a little bit of strategy. I don't know what that would be. Uh, that's different there for me.
Well, what's the one thing we have said across many different racing divisions here on SRM? Don't try to figure out the fuel strategy of these drivers because we're never going to get it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say we suck. As you see now, Ed Morris comes down as well.
I do not want to associate myself with Kurt Angle.
You suck.
You suck.
Hey, I'm glad that there's another wrestler here, you know what I mean? Another wrestling guy.
Oh, I got a feeling we're going to start breaking out all the WWE and AEW references.
Ah, hey, John might not get happy with us, but,
We make for great TV, damn it! John, listening to this, I'm canceling Shane!
Oh, you didn't know?
No? You better call somebody!
Speaking of someone who doesn't know, is Alan Fox doesn't know what he's in for here with Justin Opplinger diving to the inside here.
That was close.
Yeah, Oplinger's really working that low line and definitely found his way to have a little bit of a speed coming down that backstretch. He cuts down to the bottom of the apron trying to gain just a little bit of time on him, and it works. He's ahead going into turn 1, and he's going to be able to push that thing on out of that corner and set sail a little bit further in front of him as he comes out of the turn 2.
Now, it was risky what Opplinger was doing because it's not smooth on the bottom of the apron in the tri-oval here at Kentucky. There's a lot of bumps, especially going over the manhole cover down there at the bottom of the track. So that was a huge risk that just really paid dividends.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, if there's one guy that can do it, it's going to be Justin Opplinger. Class of the field and definitely the guy to beat, in my opinion. So it's going to be an interesting few races with this.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, as I'm looking through the scoring tower here, the only 3 cars currently a lap down that I'm looking at is Alan Dobbs and Ed Morris Jr. Seems like everyone else, well, no, we got a couple more. Todd Clear and Ed Morris Sr. So the other 12 cars on the lead lap, again, could Dobbs and Jr. be pulling a little bit of strategy on everybody, getting their stop out of the way early so they can extend to the end of the stage? Or should I say the end of this race? Because I don't know if they're only running one stage or 2.
Yeah, so it's just one stage. Um, but you know, Ed Morris is not is known for trying to stretch fuel. I mean, he what was I can't remember the track. Michigan. I believe it was Michigan. Came out of the final corner and just did not have a quarter of a lap of fuel and didn't make it back to the line.
I sympathize because I've had that happen in an 87 car before, as we see Alan Dobbs working his way back around and getting his lap back the hard way. And again, this is your huge advantage of having sticker tires, is you're going to pick up about a second on the field. And there he goes, getting his lap back.
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that and see what that develops into, because he's he's gonna be behind and he's gonna wear out his stuff, and then these guys are gonna have fresher tires at some point. But is it going to be enough to re-hunt down Alan Dobbs after he gets ahead of these guys?
Now, my thing is, I don't think these cars can do more than, 60 laps on a tank of fuel, give or take. So we have a really big strategy play getting ready to set up.
Yeah, I think Dale is hinting at a little bit of a strategy. Looks like 71 to 74 for, I believe, Justin to come down would be if he's good. So we'll have to keep an eye on that once we get around to 71, 73, 74, somewhere in there.
That would put it right in the window of 60 laps to run at the end for the tank. So that's pretty doable.
Yeah, so definitely going to be. I love when they come down. Some people hate it. They hate fuel mileage races, but I love it. The anticipation, the anxiety. Is he going to make it? Is he not? It's an excitement.
Yeah, it really is, because now it sets up where not only is there the normal way of racing things, but now you've got the game of chess. Okay, I've made my move. Time for you to make yours and see where we stand at the end of it.
When I move, you move.
Just like that. Hey, DJ, roll that back.
Take a look here in the field. Jacob Jensen sits around fourth. Got about a 3-second lead on Jason Cardwell, but behind Bryce Senesac right now at about a second and almost 2 seconds here. And Jacob Jensen's had a little bit of a rough go here lately. I mean, he's had good finishes, but it seems like we haven't seen him towards the ends of races. It's almost like he gets in some kind of trouble, or has to fight through the field a little harder than he would like to, and burns his stuff up, and it just he needs to catch a break, and I feel like that break is going to come possibly at the right time. If he can get these next two races after Kentucky to work for him.
I finally figured out, because it was haunting me for the longest time, what this car reminded me of. Because being an older NASCAR fan, I've watched from like 1990 on. This car reminds me of the 1994 Rodney Combs Black Flag French's 43 Pontiac. The split black and red car.
Yeah, you
as
got
we've
a
got
point. As we
wholesale
see
pit
him
stops going.
See him, Opplinger, lap 74.
So this will put these guys right on the window of making it without the worry of having possibly a green-white checker finish. Now, if we happen to have a green-white checker finish, all this goes out the window, and the world says, hey, broadcasters, karma, shut up about fuel mileage.
So we see here Senesac also making his stop. He's going to inherit the lead to Daniel Krim, who stays out on the racetrack.
Yeah, and what these guys might be doing is trying to play the long game. Try to take this as long as possible, and if they end up catching a caution, well, they're going to be sitting pretty when everyone else is going to end up in front of them on slightly older stuff. Whoa!
59 of Jason
Cardwell?
Cardwell.
Looked like he got up there and slapped the right rear off the fence.
Yeah, definitely had a little bit of something happen there. It looks like he's coming down pit road now.
Yeah, I think that was his indication to get fresh tires. All right, about to bust my ass. I'm about to get some tires now.
Yeah, 3 more people come down. Jason Cardwell, Taylor Bertram, AJ Brandenburg, all in for their pit stops. Daniel Krim, I would assume, would be coming this time as well if those guys were. But
yeah, I got a feeling because that car is starting to dance around a little bit. He's probably going to end up coming down pit road. Yeah, he lifted early. He's getting ready to come down. I see all the flames coming out the pipes. Or he's going to say, nope, I'm staying out.
He's going to keep going. So back here, just behind him, you got a hunting Justin Oplinger, who will inherit the lead eventually. He would be sitting 13 laps on newer tires and fuel than Alan Dobbs and Ed Morris Jr. So he will, in my opinion, be waiting for those guys to make their final moves.
Yeah, I think right now Dobbs and Morris are probably going to be in complete conservation mode because Dobbs has, it looks like, what, a 3-second gap on Morris, but then he's got nearly a 20-second gap on Oplinger. I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, no, that's a long way to go with without trying to hold off someone as hard charging as Justin Oplinger.
Yeah, especially with this playoff picture the way it is. Justin's going to want to get him some of the glory here, and right now he was able to really leapfrog Allen on pit road. So on equal equipment, the 51's probably a little bit better. I'd be a little more concerned on older tires because I think that's where Allen started making some headway is, 15 laps into the run, it looked like that 73 started to come alive.
Yeah, so Dale wanted to shout out and say, Shane, fuel is only, I think, 40 to 43 laps.
40 to 43 laps on a tank of fuel here. Ooh.
So that means those guys would need to come around lap 100, which would give them around 35 laps to go to the end. These guys would be able to get to like lap 110, but I would assume that they would probably want to come in a little earlier as, I don't know. This is why I'm not a crew chief. I'd be like, what do you want to do?
I don't know. What do you want to do? I want to go that way. No, let's go this way. Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? And I just dated myself in a horrible way.
Where did he go, George?
Where did he go?
It wouldn't date me, so don't say it dates you.
But yeah, honestly, if it's only 40 to 43 on a tank, coming down as early as Dobbs and Morris did, yeah, that's I would hate to try to go green-white checker with, at the 135 mark because, oh Lord, this is where we need Larry Mack.
Now, if you look here on the cutaway car.
Let's take a look at the Toyota cutaway car and explain why fuel mileage is. Why do we need fuel mileage?
In these tanks, they have 2 reservoirs.
I mean, we've already thrown Larry Mack under the bus. I pulled a Clint Boyer talking about the fire out the pipes. We've already brought up Ken Squire, who spent a little bit of time with Fox in his late days. I mean, who's next?
Right. Currently, Joshua Vidal sitting in the first place position. Still hasn't made a stop. He's stretched it. I mean, he's going to
try to run that.
It's got to be pretty close.
Got to be close, if not having that gauge sitting on E, because that Red Bull can only give you so much, but it ain't in the fuel tank, pal.
Yeah, he's got that crew chief going, "You're almost out of fuel."
I shut that one up.
I tried having crew chief and stuff like that, and that stuff I just it made me feel stupid.
I'm already stupid enough, trust me. That's
Aren't we
why I went
all?
with a Jimmy. That's why I went with a Jimmy Johnson spotter pack, so I can at least have somebody with enough sense to say, "Hey, bring it in."
I had the Chad Canals one there where you'd cuss at me.
I love that one. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've ended up fencing the thing and just hearing Chad cuss me out. I just end up laughing about it.
It gives you something, right?
Exactly. And I believe the 26 truly has had enough. He drags that Bass Pro Shops 44 behind him. The lead's going to rotate over to the 48 of Paul Irvin.
Yeah, and he's not going to be far behind these guys. If not, he's going to be clutching it because he's got to be close. I mean, he's sitting at lap 42 was the last time he's down, so it's almost 44 laps into a run. So, I mean, Dale's hit the nail on the head there with 40 to 43, 44 laps.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking at that brand paint job. I'm trying to figure out what car I've seen that style of paint on before. I just can't put my finger on it, but this is a definite old school look.
Without a doubt. I don't know. Older paint schemes start to get me.
I know, right?
Because my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Old school for me would be, the 17 DeWalt car from like 2004. Or Tony Stewart's, swoosh car.
Nah, man. Old school for me is when DW ran chrome on the Western Auto.
Oh boy.
And I'm not talking about the full blown chrome paint job. I'm talking about the chrome numbers in like 1991.
You mean 5 years before I was even a thought?
Yeah, about 5 years before we can insert so many jokes here to get us canceled.
Oh, it's just how we are. As
Yeah,
it looks like
blame Dave for all of this,
Paul
by the way.
Irvin. Yep,
Blame Dave.
yep. Paul Irvin makes his stop, which means the lead will be handed back over to one Mr. Alan Dobbs. So sitting currently with only about a 2 to 3 second lead over Justin Opplinger right now.
Yeah, those boys have chased him down. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Justin and Allen go blow clean past him before too much longer.
And it makes you wonder too. Is he saving anything at all for when they?
Whoa!
Whoa, that was a that was a little close for comfort.
I saw some tracks coming off that 38 car.
But to what my point was, is he saving just enough that maybe he can put up a small amount of a fight to just, hold Opplinger back just for a moment to maybe give himself that when he comes down to pit, he has just that bit more of time that, he held up Opplinger.
Or is he trying to save enough to maybe extend the window instead of trying to pit lap 100 to 103, maybe try to push it to lap 105, 106?
Yeah, and it's gonna be close. I mean, he, like I said, he doesn't really have a lot to race for besides getting that playoff point, and he's already gotten the one tonight, so it's gonna be all for it.
Yeah, and he's definitely not pushing the car all that hard as Oppinger is back in his tire tracks, and he's, like I said, he's hunting him down. He's now within a second. He's there.
Oh yeah, and I mean he's gonna if Alan Dobbs has anything, he's gonna have to throw it out now.
Exactly. He's going to have to start picking the pace up because right now he's running 3173s as no, right there, 3331 as Oppinger ran a 3281. So
You can see out the gearbox, you can just see he's just being hunted.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
And you know, it's almost intimidating, even though you know you're on a different strategy. You see that car and you're like, oh, he's gonna get me. He's gonna get me.
33.29 to a 32.83. You're seeing it right here in front of you, how fast he's closing up.
Yeah, and you can see right here, Dobbs is just running everything he can right now, and he's gonna be in the clutches here momentarily, and you know, all it's gonna take for Justin is to have a really good run off, and you know, pass him in just one corner. He's not gonna have to fight for it at all. I think Dobbs might even kind of move aside here. Check
Yeah,
that. Nope.
Oh, he threw a little bit of a
You want to
block
cross
there.
over here?
Yeah, he's looking for the
Oh.
crossover. He's still trying to look for the crossover. He just about takes the back bumper off the 38 car, sticks it to the bottom. Oh, it's getting dicey now, boys.
Like I said, Dobbs was going to give him just enough of a fight there to possibly hold him up.
I don't think that was holding him up. I think that was I'm going to force you to do it my way to try to get around me. And yeah, that got a little bit hairy for a minute there.
Oh, here comes Dobbs now. Dobbs making his pit stop.
And he's doing it wicked early.
I mean, we've seen guys go a little over 43 to like 44, 45 laps. So, you know, he should be within that window. You know, 40 laps to the end. He might be right on the edge of it, but
he is barely in the window.
So, I mean, you got to account for, you know, the first lap, he's going to be just getting up to speed, using just a touch bit more fuel as he goes through the gears.
Yeah, but still.
Justin Opplinger coming down as well. So these guys,
wow.
These guys are going to be on equal tires for a moment.
This has really just put the chess game out there.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting.
Now, here's the thing. The 51 was a lot better on older tires when these two were up front than what Dobbs had. So now the question is, can the 51 chase Dobbs back down and get back by him in time by the end of this race? Because we're looking at, what, 38 to go?
Yeah, looking here now. Alan Dobbs going by.
Yeah, Dobbs will get by him going down the back straightaway. Well, there he is now, getting him off of turn 2. Will he have enough of a cushion by the time that 51 gets up to race speed? Because by turn 3, the 51's pretty much going to be up to snuff. There you go. That's your gap.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, you can see he's got some busy hands right now on these cold tires.
Yeah, and that's the biggest key is, you know, don't slide these cold tires and set yourself up, you know, with a little bit of extra wear before you're ready. And you see here, this is going to help Dobbs just a bit too, because, you know, even though he has the speed to go by, he's going to have to, you know, navigate these other cars here.
Yeah, because not only does he have to navigate the lap cars that he has to go by. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow. That was a close call.
That got sketchy.
I mean, I'm at a loss for words for that.
Oh, my heart jumped in my throat like I had heat exhaustion.
You'd have thought that I was in the car. I mean, yeah, we're in the cockpit for him, but oh, Jacob Jensen, big slide in front of the 51 too.
Oh, the 51 doesn't need to be seeing this right now. He's got everyone packed by him. He can just focus up, but the last thing he needs is seeing these guys get crossed up and almost then get his door taken off.
Yeah, that's a terrifying sight to see as we look off. You know, look at the gap that he was able to make. He also ran the fastest lap of the race at a 31:41. So, and you know, Opplinger just ran his fastest lap of the race at a 31:77. So, you know, just look at the space between them, just from, you know, Justin having a little bit of a checkup stuff from from cars around him.
Yeah, but I'm watching it as we go here, and Opplinger is just bringing it right back. But Dobbs puts another car in between him and the 51. That's going to last all of about a lap, I feel, before the 51 gets there.
Yeah, you know, once again, Dobbs looking to take his lap back the hard way. And, you know, he's going by Alan Fox just now and passing Joe Darnell as well for position.
Yeah, Darnell just basically rolled over and said, "All right, bud, you got the fresh tires. Get out of here.
You don't get...
Get going, boy." And I believe Opplinger is about to pull the same trick here shortly, because he's about to get his lap back the hard way too.
Is it really the hard way for these guys, though?
Not on stickers. That's the easiest way to do it outside of the Lucky Dog.
Right?
I wish I could say I've done that before, but I really haven't.
Well, while these guys sort some of this out, you know, we're going to take a relatively quick break. You know, we're here at Kentucky for the Extreme Motorsports Elite Xfinity Series, and we'll be back.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today. The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today. The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today. The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today. The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Extreme Series here at Kentucky Speedway. Shane Lake and Jordan Bockwell sitting in the Tony Trapazzo Memorial Broadcast booth, watching Alan Dobbs trim his way back up as pit stop cycles have been continuing through the side-by-side action. We still got a couple of cars that need to come down pit road as Bryce in the 89 has finally made his way down. A lot of these guys have now figured out that they're going to be able to go the distance and they're not going to have to, save as much as, Alan will be needing to, as much as Justin will be needing to. So we have a lot more strategy going on, especially this late in the race.
Yeah, and Justin's kind of, I don't know if he's necessarily pushing it to the max right now, but he's kind of hit that point where he's starting to catch a little bit of dirty air from a Dobbs and having to navigate these other cars. So we see him kind of sitting around that 3/4 of a second area and just kind of almost like stalking. He sees Dobbs. He's working. He's trying to keep himself within a relative distance. You know, that time around he was 2/10 faster. So you know, he's just kind of watching him.
Yeah, he's just kind of on the outside looking in, like, I see what you're doing, and I know I'm a little bit quicker, but I'm going to let you burn your stuff up.
Yeah, and I mean, for someone like me, I see that 51, and I'm gonna try to drive like hell to get away from him. But you know, it's not working very much for Alan Dobbs. As you know, Opplinger's closed it into under half a second now.
Yeah, he's definitely chasing him down. And again, it's also, I think, the tire advantage now that it's equalized a bit. Again, as we saw earlier in this race, the 51 car on older tires was just that much better than what the 38 had. So Justin's going to be able to have a little bit more tire towards the end of this race, and that could be what ends up helping him win here as we're clocking down to 24 laps to go.
Yeah, and you know, Dobbs is not gonna make it easy by any means. And these two know what it's like to ride door to door with each other. I mean, just alone tonight, they've been door to door and switching positions for them all night long. So it's gonna be it's not gonna be an easy fight for either one of them.
No, it's not. And now that they have found each other one more time on the track, I have got a very sneaky suspicion that, well, this might be the Bluegrass State, but we're going to see some fireworks here soon.
Oh, without a doubt. And those fireworks it's going to look like we're back at the 4th of July.
Yeah, and I think the 51 wanted to try to take a little bit of back bumper off the 38 car as he skates high a little bit, trying to do a little bit of water testing, I think, right now. Just seeing, hey, can I try to make that move work again? And the 38, I've noticed when he's got somebody behind him like Justin has been right now, he kind of slowly closes the door to the bottom going through the tri-oval. So if the 51 can get inside of him as they're working traffic right now, the 51 can try to get inside of him coming through the tri-oval. He's going to have to do it before the start-finish line as the 44 skates way up the hill.
Yeah, and you see here, kind of going to use, well, oh no, tried to use Vidal as a pick, but that's not going to work out for him at all. It's actually going to hurt him and allow the 51 to get to the outside of Alan Dobbs, and now Vidal slides up the track, so that's going to basically put it back into the favor of Alan Dobbs, but now they're going to be side by side, so, you know, Opplinger pushing the 26 of Vidal and trying to get you know, enough of a push there to try to stay on the outside there. Looks for a crossover.
Looking for a huge crossover. The 38's going to skate up the hill, but the 51's going to get choked down a little bit by Vidal because he can't use all the track to widen out. These boys are going at it hammer and tong with the lap traffic around them as Alan Dobbs has taken the lead from Vidal, and here comes Justin to pick up P2.
Oh, and it's just, oh.
Oh, he's pushing him. He's pushing him.
Yeah, he's pushing him all through that corner, down the backstretch, and I mean, there wasn't a piece of paper that could fit between the top three there for a moment.
As the boys down in Australia would say, there's nothing between them. Unbelievable what we're seeing here this late in the race with under 20 laps to go.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more and more interesting. The elbows are going to come out a little bit more, and we're going to see them start to throw almost haymakers at each other.
Haymakers in the land of Ali. It's only fitting. God, why did I make that reference? Oh. Oh, man, it's going to be that type of night. For anyone wondering why I'm making such weird references, blame the heat exhaustion, okay? It was 90 degrees here in Maine. Leave me alone.
90, that's it?
Heat index was right around 100.
Yeah, I mean, we were 96 with the heat index of 100.
We're not used to it.
I'm also
Remember, we
leaving
only
it.
get 10 days of summer here.
I'm also leaving out the fact that I work indoors.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're not used to it. We get like 10 days of summer and then 3 months of winter.
See, I'd love to have more winter. Give me it. Give it back.
I'll send it your way. You can take a couple of our blizzards while we're at it.
I don't know about that.
Meanwhile, back on the farm, Alan Dobbs has kept that 51 in his rear view mirror the majority of this race, but I have got a suspicion that whoa, close. 51 wanted to send it in, but had to pack it up.
Pushing him again.
Oh, he's looking to pull the old Harvick trick, what he did to Jimmy at California. Shove him into the corner a little deeper than what he wanted, and then cut underneath him.
I mean, it's a flawless idea. I mean, it takes away the line that he was setting up for.
Exactly. Send him in with an extra mile an hour or two, what he was thinking. It'll open the door that much more so you can just drop it in. But I think right now he's saving it because we've only got 15 to go. Yeah, and right now, again, there's really nothing between these two boys. Official gap is just over 1/10 of a second. Lap times are so similar between these two, within hundredths of a second.
Yeah, Alan Dobbs running a 33.29 to Justin Oplinger's 33.26. So, I mean, they're a 10th behind, or, there's a 10th gap, but they're not even a 10th off of time with each other.
Here we go. He was looking. He's shoving him again through the tri-oval.
That time around, Dobbs 33.25 to Oplinger's 33.21. So they're running identical times. Dobbs slides up the track. Oplinger looks to the inside, gets a little bit of a side draft. Drag racing down the backstretch.
Oh, going down into turn 3. The 51 goes full-blown yeet mode, trying to make it stick. Can Dobbs try to pull the crossover? He's looking back up towards the top line. I don't know if it's going to make it stick. Got Dobbs in the wall. Contact between the two.
How they saved that, I do not know. That was 2 wrecked leaders right there.
Oh, my God. How in the world did those two not end up on a rollback?
Your guess is as good as mine, because, I mean, they were... that was beyond beating and banging there.
Now, the 38 popped the fence coming off of turn 4. As he was catching it, he got the 51, and both of those cars should have been demolished. I'm sorry. Both those cars should have been in the garage. And somehow they're still racing. Right there, you can see the 51 goes full-blown send, runs it up the hill. Now, you'd think the 38's going to end up trying to cut underneath him. No, he gets the high line run because the 51 had to check up so much. He scrapes the wall, turns back down, and dear God, if iRacing could mimic the donuts sitting on the doors of these cars, those two sides would have been destroyed.
Oh, there would have been a fat donut and a Ford emblem on the side of that 51.
Oh my goodness. How in the hell? That is insanity, and these two are about to go at it again because Dobbs is trying to chase Oplinger down.
Yeah, he's going to have to give it everything he can because, he's marginally, and by marginally I mean a 45 to a 47 off of the pace of Oplinger. We'll see what it is this time around. 44 to Alan Dobbs is 38, so, he's got a little bit of time, but they're just so close. It's, 2/10 feels like 2 seconds.
And the problem is the 38 cannot wrap the bottom on the exit of the corner. That thing is shoving up from center off. He's got to figure out how to widen out his arc to try to chase down that 51 because he's catching that much of the dirty air off the rear end of the 51 car that it's hurting performance. Right here, you'll be able to see it in the differences lap time wise. It's a 37 to a 51. And it was all because the 38 could not keep the car on the bottom of the track. He's just losing the nose that much.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, at this point, it's Opplinger's race to lose. I don't want to, throw that out there, but, I mean, it's the truth.
You throw that out there, we're going to end up getting a caution. As Joshua Vidal finally comes down pit road, I don't think he's going to be able to make it on fuel. And right now, there's your gap, a 46 to a 48 between these top two. So pretty much identical. Right? Oh, 38 just pounded the fence.
Yeah, definitely struggling with that race car just a touch.
It's the older tires. The 38 struggled on older tires early in the run when we had our first segment, and it's showing up again that the older tires are what's hurting this car now.
I think the man commenting is Michael Ramler, or Scott Ramler, my apologies. And he said that'd be a tire puncture, but that would have been boring for that little bit of scuffle we had there.
Tire puncture, fender rub, a handful of donuts down the side of both cars, and probably everyone trying to make a pit stop to try to fix the damage because we probably have debris on the track for a caution. Our good old friend Jacques Debris would have shown back up.
Jacques Debris. Jacques Debris.
Remember when that was actually a Twitter account?
No, I don't.
You know, that, the Orange Cone, Mini Chad, those were all old Twitter accounts. I was actually friends with a couple of them. As we come down here with 4 laps to go, Opplinger's got about 3/4 of a second gap on Dobbs. I think Dobbs is just now riding because he knows he's really got nothing for Justin, and he knows he's into the next round, as once again he just about rips the right side of the car off the wall. That lets Justin pull out to about a second.
Yeah, a little further back, we see Paul Irvin. He's under fire from Daniel Krim right here, right now. Oh, whoo, and Daniel Krim almost takes out that rear bumper, and now he's under fire from Jason Cardwell.
Yeah, Jason's looking to try to get that inside run because Daniel ended up skating up high. Daniel's going to shut the door on him. And as he tries to make this run on Paul Irvin, I don't know if he's going to end up getting it to stick here as we're getting ready to come to the popsicle sticks getting put up in the air for Justin Opplinger.
Yeah, and looking at the points, I'm trying to do like some quick math. And, without the stage points, I think Irvin needs that spot. Definitely needs that spot now that he potentially lost that spot. He needs that spot to keep himself within grasp of Alan Fox.
Yeah, and right now I don't think he's got the car to keep that spot as Krim goes around him. Justin's getting ready to come out of 3 and 4. He's going to be looking at the white flag from our friend Barney up in the flag stand. The popsicle sticks are put away, and we got 1 to go from Kentucky.
Yeah, and you can just see, he wraps the corners. No matter what part of the corner he's in, he wraps it perfectly. He's been strong all night long. I mean, like I said, he was running behind Dobbs, and I mean, I think he was just learning, and he knew that he had a faster car and knew how he could drive. As he comes through turn 3, off turn 4, Justin Opplinger is going to punch his ticket into the round of 4 with a win here in Kentucky, followed by Alan Dobbs, Alan Fox, Bryce Senesek, and Ed Morris Jr.
Yeah, what a finish today. Honestly, that did Paul Irvin run out of gas?
That's what I just saw. I saw him dropping like a rock. I think he ran out of gas.
Oh my! Oh, this is
that's
killer.
Going to be a crushing.
This is brutal for him. The strategy dies out with half a lap to go.
You know, and for him, at least he's going to be able to finish, as it looks like. No, I think they were laps down, but Paul Irvin finding himself out of fuel,
He was able to
losing
coast, but
tremendous amount of points there, as Justin Opplinger comes back to the front stretch, and he's going to burn it down here in Kentucky. And I mean, again, just a dominant show of performance. If I can do my math really, really quickly in my head, I believe our final four, pending review of anything and such, would be Alan Dobbs, Justin Opplinger, both locking in this round with wins. And then Jacob Jensen and Bryce Senesac should be our I mean, it's going to be close based off of those stage points. But we'll be able to let you guys know as soon as we know through next week's broadcast. As soon as we log in, that'll be an immediate we'll know. But my quick math is not quick math.
yeah, you gotta love public education sometimes.
So
trust me, been there, done that.
We're gonna go ahead and bring up our first guy. It's gonna be Alan Fox. Alan Fox, it's Jordan and Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing great, doing great. You guys put on a good show tonight, and it's one of those races where we saw a lot of different strategies, fuel mileage, and different stuff like that. But ultimately, how difficult was it to really make a decision on some sort of strategy tonight?
Well, it's kind of nice to be off strategy with Opplinger and Dobbs there because I wasn't necessarily racing for the win. I had to get in on points, so obviously a win would have been great, but I was mainly racing the 64 and the 09 and the 48, so got a couple laps led, got third, so I think that should give me just enough to squeak into the Final Four.
Yeah, and I was sitting here trying to do quick math, but I have a public school education, and I don't get the live points for the stage points and everything like that. I think you will be very close with both Bryce Senesac and Jacob Jensen here. Paul Irvin, I believe, ran out of gas coming to the finish, so you should definitely be past him. As you were only 3 points behind him to start tonight. But if you are in, which I feel like you would be, depending on Senesac's finish in the stage, I'm having a tough recall. But how difficult is it going to be to go from somewhere like Kentucky to then go into a smaller track like Iowa and having the same kind of performance?
Well, I'm going to be banking on that I can do something in Nashville. Iowa's not one of my stronger tracks, so anything where you got to save the right front from under you. That's why I was having a good front tonight. I was able to get it on the right rear, slide around a little bit, and make speed that way. So once I figured out what I did that first run and was able to dial it back and save a little bit of right front, it gave me some speed towards the end. But yeah, just the right calls, getting in on the right strategy, and just getting past those other guys behind me. Yeah, me and Bryce were talking quick math in the group, and I think we were saying it should be me and him. We should have hopped, but who knows what it'll be once you get the bonus points and stage points and stuff like that in there.
Yeah, it's definitely, you guys definitely all are very close in points, and I think it's just a testament to how you guys run in this league. Multiple different guys who are talented and know how to race different styles and everything of that nature. So it's truly fun to watch, and I wish you luck. It's hard to say who's the favorite because all 8 in this round at the very least are the 8 best drivers in this league, in my opinion. So want to wish you luck for that. And before we send you on your way, is there anybody you want to shout out and thank?
Yeah, all the guys at Prime Time. We worked pretty hard together tonight to try and get this done, and it worked out 3rd through 5th. So 3 of our cars in the top 5 definitely helped. Kind of just playing defense on the strategies there. Everybody at Extreme, like you were saying, a lot of different tracks to showcase on. So the schedule was pretty difficult, but pretty fun coming into the playoffs here. So we'll see where it goes next week on a short track, and then cap it off at a mile and a third at Nashville.
Yeah, another little bit of a, it says super speedway, but
Yeah, that's what they call it,
it was
anyways.
a super speedway probably back in, when it was built, but
Not these days, but yeah,
not
thanks to you
these
guys up in
days
the
at
booth
all.
too, of
So,
course.
but all right, man. Well, congrats on the third, and we'll wish you luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Next, I believe, Shane, you have Alan Dobbs.
Hey, Alan, it's Shane and Jordan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Man, this dogfight you had with Justin was absolutely insane, especially with that contact you guys had off of turn 4 late. For one, how did you save that race car? And for two, did you have anything for him, possibly if your tires held up?
Yeah, well, yeah, if the tires held up, probably, but I wasn't, I wasn't very good at saving long run tonight, and Justin killed it. So hats off to him. And yeah, we had that contact. I hate when iRacing does that. You brush the wall a little bit, and it just shoots you down the track. And I'm super thankful that I was able to hit the brakes and get it wound up and not not wreck myself or Justin, and we was able to finish. I decided to just fall back in behind him and see if I was able to run him back down, but no luck there. He was just way too fast.
Yeah, he was definitely class to field, but you were right there with him on fresh tires. So, if things played out different, something tells me you probably would have been picking up your second win of the season or second win of this round.
Yeah, I mean, I can pretty much be said about every race. If everything goes exactly the way you need it to win, then you'll win. We tried some different strategy. We pit early and took two tires and tried to run it long, and I was interested to see how that was going to work out. But then Justin didn't want to do that. He just followed me on down the pit road. So then we were kind of evened up, and he had a lap newer tires. So it was an uphill battle for me at that point. But I thought we had a really good battle, and it was a lot of fun from my seat.
Oh, up here in the booth, we were having a blast calling this action between you and Justin for sure. Before we let you get out of here to celebrate the runner-up finish, anyone you want to thank that helps get done on that 38 car?
Yeah, just shout out to my currently absent team, NCR. Extreme Motorsports. All the league admins. You guys for putting on the broadcast, and yeah, we'll take this. We'll go to the round of 4 next week and try to get her done there.
Speaking of that, before honestly we let you go, any thoughts on how to get things done at Iowa?
I honestly can't say that I do. I usually end up getting put in the back of the field due to pit strategy, and then it's downhill from there. So my only goal is to try not to have that happen and just stay up towards the front, hopefully.
Survive till Nashville, am I right?
That's right. We'll go for it at Nashville.
All right. Well, best of luck these final couple of races. Celebrate this P2 finish, and we'll see you in Iowa next week.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
And Jordan, I think you've got the race winner kicking around here, don't you?
Yeah, and last but certainly not least, Justin Opplinger, your race winner. Justin, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm starting to wonder if you're going to get tired of talking to us. This is the fourth time in just wins alone that you've talked to us. So, certainly probably getting tired of us. But, just want to say congrats on the win, first of all. Ran a dominant race. And, my biggest question, one, is when Dobbs came down for that final pit stop, was that initially your original plan to come down the same, the lap following after Dobbs pit?
No. So if he pitted before I caught him, then I was probably gonna stay out a decent amount, probably to lap 105 probably. But since I just got to his, well, technically I passed him right before he pitted. So yeah, I decided to go down like the next lap because I barely got to him that last run, so I knew it was going to be close. So I had to go now, or it was going to be too late.
Yeah, it definitely was fun to watch these different strategies and how you all work this race out. And I mean, you certainly proved that you were not only good on fresh, you were really good on the long run as well. Um, running a place like this, it's a little bit more of a you drive and you just kind of maintain your tires and such like that. We go to a smaller track in Iowa next week, and that's kind of been the big question is, how to kind of change gears and go to a place like Iowa that's, it's not an easy track by any means, and it's definitely like an elongated, Richmond to a sort. So, how do you change up your mindset to be focused and ready on that?
Not really sure yet. I'll have to run some laps around there and see exactly how tires wear and what fuel's looking like, and just different characteristics about the track, because that's really what changes it for me. I usually go onto each track, other than like road courses and super speedways, but each track with the same mindset of, just save your tires, run your race. If you're in the lead, set the pace, and so on. And but yeah, it really just depends on the track. I haven't ran there in a little bit, but I'll have to test a little bit, and then I can see based on that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I attest to every year, every time we talk about you is just how well you dictate, everybody else's pace, even when you're just behind them. You force them. Just them seeing your car in the rear view kind of forces them to overdrive a little bit sometimes,
Hmm.
and really push their car. And you're able to just kind of run your own thing, and it's interesting to me that how do you block out anybody else around you? I mean, it's almost like you see it as you're running out there by yourself.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it kind of goes back to the whole tire ordeal. You got to focus on your own stuff. It's really tempting when you catch someone that quick and they're in the lead and you're second, and you just want to pass them and take the lead. But really, if you sit behind them and save your own stuff, but also stay right on their bumper, it kind of forces them to plow tight and drive it a little bit harder, and then that eventually will eat up their tires even more as the run goes on. But yeah, no, it's definitely tempting, but you just got to stay focused on your own race and your main objective, and that's really to save your tires and have a good balanced run beginning and towards the end.
Well, you definitely prove that you know how to do that each and every week. Before we let you go celebrate this win and the advancement into the Final Four, is there anybody you want to shout out and thank?
Yes, the good Lord above. None of this would be possible without him. Mom and Dad for allowing me to have a sim, and everyone on the broadcast, you two, Sim Racing Media, Extreme, anyone that helps put on the league too as well. They do a great job, and it's been a fun year, and I'm excited for the next two races.
Well, it's certainly going to be, excuse me, certainly going to be a dogfight between at least you and you and Dobbs. Not sure on who you guys will be seeing in that. I believe it would be Alan Fox and Bryce Senesac if my math is quick and correct.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's going to be very close. And the fact that it's the top four that finished in this race that could also potentially be the final four. It's going to be very interesting and fun to watch. So we look forward to it, and maybe we'll be speaking to you sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be nerve wracking, but we should be able to pull through. We'll see.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you get going, and congratulations on the first.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good one.
Well,
What a
so
finish.
yeah, so what an absolute amazing finish here. We'll go ahead and bring up the results real quick. Your race winner and advancing into the final four off of this win here is going to be Justin Opplinger, followed by his already arch nemesis for the following 2 weeks, Alan Dobbs. Alan Fox and Bryce Senesac finished 3rd and 4th. Ed Morris Jr., Jacob Jensen come in 5th and 6th. Daniel Krim comes 7th. AJ Brandenburg 8th. Jason Cardwell in 9th. Paul Irvin, running out of fuel on the last lap, sadly finishes in P10. Joshua Vidal and Matt Cochran come in 11th and 12th. Joe Darnell and Ed Morris Sr. finished 13th and 14th. Taylor Bertram 15th, and rounding out your field will be Todd Keir for this week at Kentucky. So, it's going to be fun to watch these guys. I mean, it's the Final Four. It's always nerve-wracking. There's going to be an extra little bit of elbows out. And, we're headed into the championship, And with this not being just a one-race shot, you've got to be on your game for 2 races.
Yeah, and the fact of it being the first one's as technical a track as Iowa, again, the bumps in 1 and 2 could really play havoc with cars, especially late race. And then the week after, going to Nashville, of all places, these next 2 weeks are going to be testing these drivers for sure. And the best of the best, or I really got to do this, the Macho Man would say the cream rises to the top. Oh, yeah. We're going to find out who does that in the next 2 weeks here with the boys at Extreme.
We certainly will. That's going to be the show for myself and Shane Lake. I want to thank you all for watching. If you're sticking around for the interviews, really means a lot to us here. And if you're not following, go ahead and certainly hit that subscribe button now and that bell above just to get notifications when we go live. We'll see you tomorrow night as we tackle Kentucky in the Next Gen Cup cars in our next event.
As our friend Tony would say, since we are in his booth, as you walk down the road of life, today and every day, please don't play in traffic. And until we meet again, everybody,
Extreme Scoring
take care.
To do the work for you.
Rickmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Rickmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, rickmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit Extreme